Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here. I have attempted to make box joint jigs or finger joint jigs in the past and have been somewhat successful, but a few months ago Rockler had this one on sale and it was a really good sale, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. There's a lot of reviews. I'm not going to review this so much today because there's so many reviews on YouTube. It's a great little jig. It's easy to adjust. I'm going to use the Hercules trim router. I went for that because I hadn't been to Harbor Freight for a long time and I got a 25% off. So I used that. I'm not exactly thrilled with it. I've been playing with this a little bit. I'm not exactly thrilled with the Hercules because if you release the tension on it, it falls out, especially, of course, when it's upside down like this. So I have this little wedge in here that I've been using as a fine adjustment, and that's been working pretty well. So this mess behind me, if you've watched any of my other shop videos, you see this mess change, come and go, but it usually just grows. So I made a pledge to myself way last spring that if any scrap wood was left in the basement, by the new year, I would get rid of it. And so I am under the gun. Well, I was digging through and I found this. And it looks like it was going to be a box or a tray of some kind. It appears to be pallet wood. I think it's pine, but I can tell I've already jointed the edges. I haven't done anything to the surfaces. But it is really square, and all of it appears to be square. So it must have been something that I thought about and then thought, well, maybe I don't have the right tool for that, or I don't have the right attitude for that. I don't know. But anyway, it was in that pile. I found some other stuff, and you'll be seeing that soon also. This is a 1/4 inch. I think it's a down cut bit because I did one little test cut and it flew all over the place. I need to put a vacuum over here, but I think that'll get in the way of showing you what I'm doing. So the first thing I need to do is adjust this so that the router bit right here is just a touch above the thickness of the wood. And this looks like it's about a 1/2 inch, but being pallet wood, you never know. All of these pieces could be a little inconsistent, but they appear to be on the surface the same. Unplugged my fine adjustment tool. So when I release this, it's going to drop. I didn't drop too much. Before I start adjusting this, I apologize again for the sound. I'm using the microphone on my iPhone. I have not been able to find a mic that I like. If you are a YouTuber and a creator and have a great mic system for an iPhone, please let me know. So I've released the tension here, and I can start by just pushing the wedge under and getting it close. And that is way too much. So that is just a tad under. I'll get my fine adjusting tool here and give that wedge a little nudge. I'm going to tighten it and see if that helps, because when it's loose, the cutter here wobbles back and forth. So I think that's a great setup right there. So hopefully it'll stay. So the next thing I need to do is label these so I don't mess up. So this jig comes with a beautiful illustrated setup guide. It's just really easy to set up. It shows you how to label your wood, and so that's what I've done here. And so I'm ready to make a cut. I've already done a couple of test cuts just to play around with it to make sure that I had the correct distance here. And I think it is correct, but I'm going to use another scrap just to make sure. That's the first time I've run a whole section. I've cut a few slots, but never a whole section like that. That's, to me, that's picture perfect. So I'm ready to cut now. Sawdust. I messed up on my initial one. I should have flipped this end for end, and I didn't. I flipped it some other direction, so I had to be very careful on the remaining box joints that I got everything lined up. I think I got it right. That goes there. This one can go here. And that one can go there. All right, I'm going to move this my router box out of the way because I think, at least I'm temporarily finished with it. I'll get my persuader out again. Uh-oh, something's wrong here. There we go. There we go. It's a little loose, but that's good because there's room for glue. I really lucked out in the spacing here. I used my 1/4-inch spacing bar to space that, and if it doesn't line up, you just adjust the jig side to side. So off camera, I went ahead and sanded the inside of this and added some painter's tape to the inside so that removing the glue would be easier. My goal here is to make a little, I don't know, there's no reason to put glue on the top there, Larry. My goal here is to make a little autumn box. I don't know, you could display little pumpkins in it or whatever you want, or maybe put it outside on Halloween. But mainly, it's to practice making finger joints and gluing it up. One of the reasons they just last forever is that there is so much glue surface. Now, I'm using Titebond 2 here in case somebody does want to put it on the front porch. I'm sure one of the girls will end up having this. I'm not sure of that. Maybe one of the girls will end up wanting this, or but I'm getting glue everywhere. All right, how did this go on? Must be like this because the glue's on the inside. But the joints with the glue here, I think I just have beginner's luck. Wow. I usually have a lot of trouble making a square box. Put belts and suspenders on here. See you later. Well, I'm back. And I had some lunch, did a little digging back in here some more, found all kinds of good stuff back there. And this glue is probably not completely set up, but it's set up enough. This inside tape here did its job. Well, I'm back. I had some lunch and did some more digging back in here. This isn't exactly flat, so I've got this big piece of oak, 1-inch thick piece of oak here that's really flat, and added a couple of pieces of sandpaper to it. clamp it down here. I can work this back and forth. And now it's very. During my diggings, I found a few more pieces of this same stuff, it looks like. And so I'm going to put that on the bottom. I think what I'll do next is get this cut to length. I'm going to use my centering finding ruler here. It's like 3 1/4 to find the center of my box. I'm going to mark that. Do the same thing down here. 3 1/4. And then I'm going to put that on the center, just like that. And I'm not going to use any nails right now. Not going to use any nails. Instead, I'm going to use some CA glue and regular woodworking glue, and that'll act as a clamp here. I will eventually be putting nails in here, but I want to run this thing over my planer first because I don't want this bottom to be rough. So I'll put some glue across here. Move this glue to the outside so it doesn't squeeze out inside the box. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to sand these two. And they are pretty ugly and rough. So I don't have a lot of working time with this right here with this glue. It's going to set up or at least get tacky. I believe that's going to be good enough. That still looks wet. Spritz this. This is accelerator for the CA glue. Well, and that's already set, but of course the wood glue hasn't dried yet. I'll just put a couple of weights on here. So it's been about an hour. I was able to get my workout in, and now I'm going to try to even this out. Because this is end grain, I don't want to run it on the joiner, but my belt sander should make pretty quick work of it. And I don't want to take away all this texture, but I do need to plug in my belt sander. This is a vintage 1970s, by the way. It's worked really well. This blower stopped working, so I disconnected it. Well, I had to take a little break to recharge my phone. But there's one more thing I want to do with this, and that's give it a little char. This is a concrete picnic table. Back inside now, I'm just going to brush it off with this steel wool. Get any of that char off of there. Now that I've got it all sanded down and everything, I'm going to put a couple of staples in it. These are 1-inch staples. I know that's not going anywhere now. Finishing touches. I've got these handles. And they're just a little too big. But I've also got this grapevine left over from the last rustic box I made, that little flower box. I think that'll work. I think I'll put 2 of them on here. Finally. Actually pretty good. I'm going to try to get a couple staples in here. Put a piece of duct tape here temporarily. Put a dab of glue right here. Spritz this. We will also keep this from fraying. I think I'll just cut off a little bit right here. Come back over that. Tape off. I think I'll just cut this off right here. I think I can tuck this in here. Let's call it a harvest box. Candy in here for the Halloween. Decorate it with whatever you want. But I like it. I like these projects that I can get finished in a day, and I still had time to do my workout. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends. Thank you.